upon a time, when the world was young, when our ancestors wandered the icy steeps, roamed the trackless desert sands, and tamed the wilderness of the rainforest. In that long time, they looked up at the constellation and saw stories there. And though the world is a very different place today, the stars and their stories are still the same. As so are those ancient storytellers, our indigenous sisters and brothers, who remind us that we are all part of one story. Our ancestors call out to undertake a journey. Reconnect with our ancient roots, following the stars, until we return to where we started, having discovered the truth of who we really are. We are one world, one family.
Good morning. Thank you so much. So, as said, my name is Sasa Bozic, and together with my son Tin, we run Sophia Academy, and our main purpose is to bring ancient wisdom back into the era and the well-being of a modern man through the intergenerational collaboration. And for all of you that have children in the Gen Z, you will understand that I really don't know which one is toughest. Doing work with my son, which questions everything, or going around the globe. So as part of Sophia's Academy social sustainability activities, I've decided in 2022 to embark on a journey, to go around the globe with the purpose of finding what are those core human values that we've shared since the beginning of our era, and because of the speed of life, because of all the noise that is out there, we've might forgotten. Because, you know, we've talked about AI yesterday, we've been talking about technology so much, but the main differentiation is going to be that we really come back to our roots, to really come back to who we are as human beings. We've all been acknowledging the challenges that we are having with mental health, with burnouts and depressions, anxieties. And you know, why is that? It's because we've lost that basic connection to our nature, to our DNA. So if you would ask me what's one thing that I could briefly share, and it is what I do now, you know, going and just being a speaker, sharing the wisdom that came out of the research, are the three basic human values that were equal to every single tribe I lived with. And briefly to explain you what the journey was all about. So I went, you've seen the map, I went around the globe and I've stayed with 11 indigenous tribes in the rural areas with chiefs just being humbly there, listening to their knowledge, to their connection to the world, to each other, and really trying to, you know, like me, Sasha first, to reconnect with rituals, with sacred places that they take me to, in order to be able to just be a messenger. It's not about me. It's just to be the messenger of what I've been told. So three values are something that all of those guys, and probably you know they don't email each other, they're just there enjoying silence and stillness, majority of them, share. And those are, they're all nature worshippers, connection to Mother Earth, And in the era where we talk about sustainability, when we take all the measurements on how to regain or just stop the climate changes that's happening, this is something that's crucial, and it comes from our past. We, by default, were connected to nature. The nature in those days, and to the society that are living on the suburbans of the modern era, is everything. It's a grocery, it's a pharmacy, is a place where they, like perform the sacred rituals. But what we have done in the modern era is, that isolation and the fact that we are on that hamster wheel, just running all the time, we've lost that connection to the source. And this is something that we are profoundly missing. The second one, belonging. Belonging to the community. Maybe that's not that relevant here to you guys in India. I worked in India for 5 years on and on. I was honored to work with Tatas. And I do know how connected you are with the families. But, I come from Europe, and it's so sad how you see how people just got trapped in their apartments in the concrete buildings of huge cities, just isolated from basically everyone, connected through the social media, but more alone than they ever were. So really knowing who you are, embracing your superpowers, so to call them, and bringing that into the community as a crucial part of progress, of coexisting, of belonging. And the third one was respecting elders. Again, this is something that maybe it's not that relevant here because, heads down, the way how you pay respect to the wisdom keepers. But again, what's happening in the West is that, unfortunately, we put them in the elderly homes. We have this bad feeling of, I don't go for a visit often enough. But in those cultures, they were the ones, the storytellers, that were passing on the knowledge, that were passing on the rituals that were connecting the communities. And with that, they created the belonging, they created the loyalty, they created the feeling that you have a purpose, right? And those are the things that came out of this research. And after I completed the journey, it's been quite tiring. Imagine, I've really been traveling a lot. I said, okay, for a while, my CSR project is done. I wrote a book. I've introduced it at the COP28 in Dubai, at Expo. It's got its own life. So it's, okay, I can, just do my own thing. So I went to Rishikesh. I really wanted to spend some time there, just in silence, just doing yoga and just being around Himalayas. And then one day, I went to the ashram of Sri Shivananda, and it was a small room. I would say just like 7 men and 1 lady, a Western lady. And the room was divided on 2 sides. And there were men on both sides, and the lady was on the left side. And the darshan went on and all, and I wanted to pay the respect to Swami at the end. And this lady turned around and said, you know what? The next time you come here, woman, they sit on the left side of this story. That's the rule. This is how it is. Remember. And I just stood there, and I grabbed her arms, and I said, oh my gosh. You didn't need to travel 5,000 miles to the sacred place of oneness, of love, to bring that mindset of rules, logic, this is how it's done, for that. And it just hit me that the journey didn't end. So I had to push forward. So I have 5 books of Know Thyself self-coaching guide that is based on the 11 ancient character strengths that came out of my life with the elders and with the indigenous tribes. For the first 5 of you that would come to my colleague, please take one. I just have 5. And with that, the realization of where we are at the moment as humanity, right? There are so many challenges that we are facing, and mainly, I will not go that much into all of those. I'm sure you guys are aware of them. That's why we need CSR project, right, to balance everything back. But what I have decided is that I'm gonna really push forward, trying to introduce that there is a different way of how we do business. Of course we have to keep the kitchen running. Of course it's about economy. But there's a huge difference of how we do it. Putting people first, making us belong, making us having time to connect with nature, and making the elders crucial part of our society, listening and learning from them. That's something that I've decided to take forward in order to get to the critical mass rule. Between 3.5% to 10%, people need to embark on a different path in order for the wheel to start turning in a different direction. And why? You know that feeling, right, when we are in love, and you know, I don't want to spoil the romantic feeling about being in love, but it's all about chemicals, right? And there is this chemical called oxytocin. So oxytocin, it's the chemical that really explodes when you are in love. And I'm sure you remember that, how unbeatable you are at that moment. And now imagine that you have a company and you work for a company that has values that are connected to your values, and just working for that company would be, I don't know, so profound and like would make you fall in love. How much more we could do and feel okay and happy and healthy doing it. So how can we do that? Because you know, we always said, yeah, it's about the company, it's about the government, but who's the company, who's the government? It's people. And also those people, you can trust me, I work with senior executives, they are not happy as well. We are pointing fingers. But at the end, they also turn up, you know, with diseases, heart diseases, strokes, because of the burnouts. And so many of them, you would not even believe, go around with imposter syndrome saying, Sasha, you know, I often just drive to the company, I park my car in front of this huge building with so and so many employees, and I sit in my car thinking, oh my gosh, if somebody would know that I have no idea what I'm doing. So we are all human beings first, before we step into the roles that each of us have and brought you to this ballroom. And just the awareness, and that's my main message for today, the awareness that we are human beings first. We go to bed when we are tired, and we sleep because this is something we need, and so on. So, connecting. And that was the birth of a new mission and a new CSR project that we've embarked, and it's called United Heartbeats. United Heartbeats is a global social sustainability initiative, and what we are planning to do, and we are doing right now, we are gonna brought together United Heartbeats and then 11 trendsetting companies around the globe that would embark on the journey of know thyself, of doing things by putting people first. And you know that the story of the 12 Knights of the Round Table, it's like that. They're going to be the protagonists, they're gonna try to do it in a different way and then share the results so the others might embark on that train as well. And we are going to do that through different initiatives, through the Know Thyself journey, meaning taking it back to yourself first. Because in sustainability, you know, we often, and you guys will introduce all these CSR projects, but it's always about, you know, helping others, helping Mother Earth, and all of that. But what about you guys? do you take time for yourself? Are you okay? You know? Because if you are not okay, you will not be able to serve. So putting yourself first, it's not an egoistical act. It's a very responsible act. Like on a plane, they said, you know, in unlikely event of the oxygen level drops, you put your own mask first. And when I heard that for the first time, I said, no, come on, you know, of course I'm gonna help my child. But you're not gonna help anyone if you faint. So please be okay first in order to help. So the main 4 pillars of this new CSR initiative, United Heartbeats, is, as I said, people, human beings in the center of activities, being well first in order to sustainably move forward. The second one, bringing the old knowledge of how we are wired as human beings. With AI doing all the operations and the digital things, we don't need to be robots anymore. Our competitive advantage will be to really connect with what we are as human beings. The third one, environmental stewardship, of taking personal responsibility, of taking care of the environment. What we do when nobody's watching. Because, you know, sometimes we do things and say, well, nobody saw me, but who am I? You know, there are so many people out there. I don't count. But we do. Each of us is a drop. So, taking a personal responsibility for our actions. And the fourth one, honorable wealth creation. So, advocating for sustainable economic growth by paying respect to human beings, to the fellows, and the planet Earth. Through, as I said, through different activities. And yeah, it's a global movement. It's just starting. So I could say it's an official launch. So if you are interested in joining us in any way whatsoever, I will let my contact at the end. And yeah, let's do this together. Let's create a critical mass. We are one world, one family. Thank you so much.